What if it was possible to have local, fresh groceries delivered right to your door? Think of all the free time you'd have. Well, Instacart gives unlimited grocery delivery for one low monthly fee. Forgot that special ingredient in your favorite dish? Instacart can deliver it to your front door in as fast as 1 hour. You can shop multiple stores, see deals in your area, and save time and money. I've been using Instacart for over 3 years. I started using them in Arizona, and I'm using them here in Florida. I love the time-saving convenience. They pick the freshest products, and they keep my eggs safe too. To receive your first delivery free, follow the link in the show notes so that Instacart knows that we sent you and to help support the show. Instacart. Never step foot in a grocery store again. Welcome to Empowered Within, a soul-quenching, transformational podcast that will set your soul on fire through candid and inspiring conversations. Leading experts, celebrities, healers, and I share our journeys of how we've overcome challenges to living an empowered life from within. I'm your host, Jennifer Pilates. Welcome to another episode of Empowered Within. Hi there, and welcome to the show. I am so excited to have with us today's guest, Nikki Vasconez, Pet Psychic Extraordinaire. She is phenomenal. I came across her on social media, obsessed with her videos, with how she was communicating with animals, and just had to reach out and have her on the show. So here she is today. Welcome, Nikki.
Hi, Jennifer. Thanks for having me on today.
Yeah, I'm so excited to dive into everything. You have an incredible story and journey, and I'm hoping that you will share that with us because you weren't always a pet psychic.
No, it's actually only been about 2 years, so I'm excited to chat about how I got here.
Yeah, so tell me. I know you talk about how that you had this revelation and the reality of your world shifted. So take me back to that day and how it all got started for you.
So let's do it. I used to be an attorney. And just last July 2021, I quit the firm and went full-time animal communication. So I haven't been doing this that long. And I didn't even know animal communication existed until my late 20s. I'm 33. I found out about it at 28. A friend of a friend could talk to animals. She didn't do it professionally, but she had been doing it for years. And when I heard that, something inside of me, just everything stopped for a moment. And I was like, what did you just say? So then she told me about it and she's like, yeah, and she gave me all these stories. So I just went home, went on Amazon and started just researching animal communication books. And I bought like 7 of them. The bottom row here of books are all the animal communication books. And I just started reading. And a common theme in all of these books from different authors was that we can all do this. And I'm like, what? And some of the authors had this ability, this gift, quote, their whole life, and others did not. Some of them didn't find out about it until they were 50. So I was like, all right. And then something shifted and I was like, okay, maybe I can do this because they're all saying everyone can do it. So I first read book after book after book for a while, convinced myself this was real, and then just started practicing. And by doing practice sessions, I slowly convinced myself that I was doing it. And that's how it all started.
That is amazing. So through your journey, I know that you have a very special story with your own dog and how he really helped you through some struggles and tribulations. Will you share that with us? Because that is so special that you were able to really help within your own family first.
Yeah. This is actually something I never even shared publicly until a couple months ago. And I had a battle with an eating disorder on and off forever. And it wasn't that I didn't want to gain weight or I wanted to look a certain way. It started when I was a young child because I had a lot of digestive issues. And literally all food would make me so bloated. I looked like I was pregnant and it would put me in so much pain. So as a young child, I didn't understand, because in my mind, food is supposed to nourish us. So I would eat something, be in severe pain, make myself throw up, and then I would feel better. So for me, that was the beginning of a very unhealthy relationship with food because I just associated food with pain. I would throw up, feel better, and then eat something else. And then over the years, that kind of turned into purposely eating things I knew weren't going to be good for me, but then I would just throw it up and then eat something good for me. So it was just really not good. And I had wanted to stop for years. It kind of was on and off for years. And like you mentioned, my one dog was really this little 9-pound teacup poodle, Donald, was the little man that helped me do this. Like I said, for years I was wanting to stop, and I just I couldn't do it. I don't know. And I realized one day he pooped on my bed, and he never does that. Like never, ever. And I knew in my gut, I knew why he was doing it, but I just tried to ignore it. And then the second day he did it again. And I was like, oh my gosh, because he knew what I was doing. Every time I would go to the bathroom, he would follow me, but I would shut the door and turn the fan on so he couldn't hear me because I knew he didn't like it. But that does nothing. Our animals are innately psychic and telepathic. They know, right? So I was like, oh my gosh, like my actions are affecting my sweet pup. And this is before I got into animal communication. I was kind of just dabbling in the journey of realizing how in tune our animals are with us. And that day was the last day I ever made myself throw up. And still to this day, years later, he will follow me to the bathroom every single time. He looks in, like, what are you doing? And I'm like, Donnie, I'm just going pee. And then he'll do like this little snort just to make sure. And then he walks away. So like that right there was just life-changing for me because, you know, I wanted to stop forever. But when it was just about me, these excuses and, you know, all that stuff that comes up. But when it's this other little poodle, I'm like, I don't want to hurt him. And it's just like our animals, they love us so much and they have so much to teach us.
They do. That is such an incredible story. And how beautiful that he helped you when it seems like, you know, not very much else could, or you weren't willing to let that in at that time.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
So when that transpired, you said you were just dabbling. Did that really kind of push you to go, I think I'm all in?
Honestly, that like at that point, I knew it. I don't know if I knew it was possible at that time, but that was when I was just really deepening my bond with my animals and just really connecting with them on a different level. Actually, you know what? No, I did know it was possible because I was seeing the connection that we had. So at that time, yeah, that was like, wait a minute, there's way more here than we can see with our physical eye. Because, you know, a lot of people growing up, I was, you know, it's a dog, it's a cat, like they don't understand, they don't have souls. You know, I grew up in a Christian background or a Catholic background. So it was like animals don't have souls, you know, whatever you believe is fine. But for me, I was like, well, wait a minute. No, there's a lot more here behind the scenes. And that just really showed me like, okay, there's more to research here. Let's figure out what's kind of behind the veil for sure.
It's so amazing. I know since I came across your videos and I've been just listening, and I'm an intuitive myself, so I get it. And yes, I've, you know, had a connection with both my fur babies. However, since I've listened to your videos, it has like gone up a whole nother level. It is amazing. And just really like you express, like talk to them like you would talk to anyone.
Mm-hmm. And it's amazing, Jennifer. I hear that so much that just by watching your videos, Nikki, my relationship with my animals has changed. And for me, that's like the top golden sphere of like everything, because yeah, I have a business and there's sessions and all that, but really what it boils down to is my entire being with what I'm doing is to help people connect deeper with their animals without my assistance. And really, like you said, just talking to our pets with regular words and regular sentences will change everything instantly. I mean, if there's no doubts, there's no questions. Even if someone's a skeptic of like me doing sessions, there is no way you can discredit the change that you will see by just talking to your pets.
Oh, absolutely. 100%. We just had a new pet sitter come. And so I was preparing them. Like, this is who's coming and this is why she's here. Because a few months ago when I went away, there was a traumatic event that transpired with a sitter that we had. Horrific. Oh. So it's like I'm so unnerved, and you know, numerous neighbors are using her, and she was delightful. She showed up and she's like, I love crystals, I love cards. I'm like, oh my gosh, I love you. And she has her own kitty cats. I had told my little baby girl Lola, I said, this will be up to you. If you say no, it's a no. If you say yes, it's a yes. And so while she was even there, I looked at her and said, what time do you want her to come? And it was amazing, Nikki. It was just... And it's not that I didn't communicate with her before, but I'm going on a whole nother level since I've been watching your videos. So much deeper.
And they respond. She responded to you, right?
Oh, yeah. She blinked her eyes. I said, you know, do you want her to come at 4 in the afternoon, 5 in the afternoon? She was like, okay. You know, her brother was more like, yeah, I don't know about this. But she was like, okay, I see I'm in charge. Okay.
And it's that simple. I teach workshops every month of teaching people how to do this. And I get a lot, how does one obtain your gift? And I'm like, well, first of all, let's go to that sentence you just said. I don't have a gift. We all have this. Animal communication is just a skill. It's a muscle to be developed. And sure, some people are going to be better at it than others, but that's just dedication, time to put into it. What's your life like? Are you in a stressful relationship? Do you hate your job? All of those things are going to kind of close off your intuitive abilities that we all have within us. So like you said, you've been talking to your animals forever. It kind of amped up a couple levels seeing my videos and stuff, but you're seeing firsthand that really we can all do it because it just takes speaking to them.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It's just amazing. So will you walk us through first how you, should we say, like, came out? Because I'm sure family and friends were like, wait, what? You went from being an attorney, you're going to be a pet psychic? Like, what are you talking about? Yeah. How that process evolved for you?
I was an attorney, like I said, in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, a large city kind of near me. Well, not really. I had like a 2-hour commute every day. And my family knew I was really stressed. My eyes were twitching. I was unhappy. I didn't like being in court. I was in trials every day, and it was just super stressful for me. At the time I was at the firm, I learned animal communication was possible, was reading books, practicing. I practiced on my family's animals, friends. So they kind of knew I was dabbling in this. I don't think really any of them thought that it would actually turn into a full business, let alone where I am today. Like, no way. Not that they doubted it, but like for them, it was like, wait, what? You're going to talk to animals for a living? How's that going to work? So I did practice sessions for about 8 months. And then I was getting phenomenal feedback, and I was like, wow, like I can do this. And I saw that there was a great need. At the time, I didn't have social media. I didn't like social media, none of it. And then I realized, well, I have to get a social media because I'm running out of friends and family. I only have a limited amount of friends and family. I need to reach other people to do practice sessions because anyone's going to do anything for free. Even if they don't believe me, it's free. Like, why not? And so I created a Instagram and just started getting people because everyone would tell someone. And I started charging a very small amount, like $40. And I just saw like it was taking off and people were paying. And then I went up to 50 and then people were paying. And then I went to 65 and it was like this slow increment. And I realized, wait a minute, I'm booked 2 weeks out because I can only do 2 readings a day. So it's not like I can do this all day long. And I realized, wow, like I'm getting booked out and I really don't even know what I'm doing yet in sense of like business and marketing and stuff. And then so I just slowly growed my Instagram. That's how I started. And Facebook. Started charging. Was still at the firm. Got to the point where I knew I wasn't going to expand any further in the animal communication while still at the law firm because being a lawyer was such an energy suck for me that I would work. I went part-time lawyer. And then, so I was working Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday, I couldn't do any readings. So I needed a day to kind of like bring my energy back to myself. So I was only doing readings Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I was like, well, wait a minute. I love this animal stuff. I hate this lawyer stuff. I need to make a change. And I started talking to my husband. He was totally on board from the very beginning. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to quit. Like I need to take a leap of faith. It was really scary, right? Going from a salary, a set paycheck to a complete unknown. And my husband's the most supportive human ever. And he was like, just do it. So my dad and my stepmom came to help me move out of for my office in Center City, Philadelphia. And like, my dad is so supportive and loving and wants me to be happy. But like, you could tell a little part of him was like, what the heck is she doing? What is going on? Like, he would never admit to that. And like, he'll never see this. And so I would say it anyway, but like, love you, Dad. But I could tell. And I looked at my stepmom. I'm like, what's his deal? And he's like, Nick, or she was like, Nick, this is just kind of hard, And, but no one in my family really was like, you're a psycho. What are you doing? They kind of just, oh, well, that's cool. Like the awkward smile, head tilt, what? And then I still hear to this day, my chiropractor, everyone, I can't believe what you've created. Like I don't know how you're making a living doing what you're doing.
Right. It's pretty phenomenal. I mean, what an incredible story. And what I love about it is there is so much hope in there for following your passion, following your heart, taking a leap of faith. I mean, this is just talk about a whole extreme, a whole 360, not even a 180. This is a 360 for you.
Right. And anything is possible. Anything is possible if you want it and you have your focus on it, make it happen because you can.
Right. Absolutely. So will you share, because I love that you started to go into the idea and express like you do 2 readings a day. So I would love for you to share, what is a session like with you? If I wanted to book you, how does that work? What does it look like for you on your end? Are you ready to lose inches, increase strength, and tone your body from head to toe? Are you ready for a total body, mind, and spirit transformation? I am excited to announce that I am launching my exclusive 8-week Pilates Return to Life training program. This will give you an opportunity to have a total body, mind, and spirit transformation of health and wellness to a new lifestyle. Imagine in 7 days you will feel a difference, in 14 days you will see a difference, and in 8 weeks you will have your new Pilates body. So what do you say? Want to join me on the mat? Head over to jenniferpilates.com today. Space is limited. Use this special promo code EW and the word special, EW special, to receive $200 off while space is available. Head on over to jenniferpilates.com and I'll see you on the mat.
Okay, so now I have a wait list. I didn't always have a wait list. I made a TikTok last November. Prior to TikTok, when I was just on Instagram and Facebook, I was booked out about 2-3 weeks, which you would go on my website, you'd book a session, you waited 2 to 3 weeks. I made a TikTok, went viral almost overnight, and got inundated with readings. I woke up to one night in December and one night in January. I woke up to like 50 plus submissions, readings that people put through overnight. And I was like, holy smokes, I can only do 2 a day. So do the math, right? That I went from 2 weeks booked out to 3, 4, 5 months booked out. It happened again in January. I was like, holy smokes, I need to stop it. So I increased my price a little bit just to try to slow it down, which did nothing. And then I was like, I got to just close my books completely. So starting in this past January, I created a wait list. So now what I do is 4 times a year, September, December, March, and June, I take a new batch of orders. And then the wait is like, I don't know, 10 weeks, maybe sooner, depending on like, it's kind of first come, first serve. So I send an email out to everybody on my wait list. Hey, in 1 week on this date and this time, you're going to get a link and schedule. And I think so coming up in September is going to be the first time where I'm sending an email out to my wait list. There's like 5,000 people on it. So I am thinking that the submission, the readings are going to fill in like 5 minutes. I don't know. This is the first time I'm doing it. But so now it's, you join my wait list, you'll get an email. And I can only do 2 a day because for me, the whole process, the reading itself is anywhere from like 50 minutes to an hour and 15 minutes, depending on what the animal is saying. And it's usually it's at least an hour, if not like 55 minutes. But it's the session itself is an hour, but then 10 to 15 minutes prior to for me to get into a meditative state, kind of get in the zone about it. And then after the session, I can't jump right into another session. So I usually wait about a half hour, 40 minutes, and then do another one. It's a lot of energy to do this when you're sitting still, eyes shut, not moving for an hour and a half. So I cap myself at 2 readings a day, because if I had to do 3, I'm sure I could. But when I get to the point where I don't really want to do the reading, I'm not going to do it, because my heart needs to fully be in it.
Right.
I do all of my sessions remotely. It's just through a picture. So when people book, they submit their animal's picture. I just look at the picture in the beginning when I'm connecting, turn my phone off, and then my eyes are shut the whole time. And I just ask questions in my mind directed at the animal. And whatever they say, I repeat out loud. I record myself when I'm speaking, and then I send you guys the audio file to listen to.
That's so cool. So after you do a session for someone's animal, how long is their wait then to receive their session from you?
Instantly. So right when I'm done doing the session, I email it to them right away. So the wait is when everyone's going to book at the same time. So I say received within 12 weeks. Realistically, you'll probably get it within 8 weeks, but I'm giving myself that extra couple weeks just in case something happens, whatever. So people aren't like, you're super late. So say everyone, 40 people, 50 people go to book, the first person who books is obviously going to get it sooner. The last person, it's going to take longer. So it's like within that window, you'll get it sometime within that time frame. But right when I do the session, you get it instantly right after.
That's amazing. Well, first I want to say congratulations, because what an incredible journey, and sharing so much for even those that are sitting back going, well, how would I get started? She's explained that. She went, started with her Instagram, Facebook, jumped over to TikTok and became a TikToker, a viral TikToker, which is amazing. I'm so happy for you. And now you also have some really exciting news to share, because you're going bigger, better, further. Just so wild. I'm so excited for you. Do you want to share it?
Right. When you first started talking, I was like, wait, what is she talking about? But then, because this is so new to me. So about, I don't know, a couple months ago, I had this girl reach out from the UK, this journalist. And I thought she was a scam, because I get so many fraud messages, and like, I don't know, it just seemed weird to me. And my husband was like, Nikki, like, just go with it. The worst that can happen is nothing happens. So I refused to give her my email, because I didn't want her to like spam my email. I told her I would only meet on Zoom so I could see her in person. Anyway, she ended up writing an article about me and animal communication in the UK. I woke up, so that was a Sunday night. Within 8 hours of me sleeping, it got picked up internationally all across the United States, went completely viral. I woke up to like four production companies had reached out to me, like dozens of radios, all these people. And I woke up my email. I was like, what is happening? Because at that point, I didn't even know she had written the article. I mean, I didn't know she posted the article yet, because she didn't even let me know, because it happened. They're 5 hours ahead of us. Anyway, fast forward. All in all, 4 production companies reached out to me to create what's called like a docu-series, what you see on Netflix, like a season. And I signed with one of them. I can't say who yet, but we're in the process of creating what's called a sizzle reel, which is kind of like a movie trailer, to then pitch to the various networks, Netflix, Amazon, HBO, to see if one of the networks will want to buy it. And then we start filming. So theoretically, and I'm going to say they're 100%, but I don't know for sure, but I'm all about manifesting. There's going to be a TV show about me and animal communication. We're going to fly around the country. I don't really know the specifics of what it's going to look like, but I mean, how amazing to spread the knowledge of this is real and watch it happen live on TV.
This is so amazing. Congratulations. And I have to tell you, I keep hearing Discovery Channel.
Really?
I do.
It's so funny. Do you know, is Discovery Channel linked with Disney at all?
I'm not sure, but I know there's like Discovery, and then I think there's like a Discovery Plus or something like that.
Yeah.
And it came in for me yesterday too, and I was like, I have to mention it to her. I just keep hearing Discovery. So
that would be amazing. Someone on my TikTok commented, I hope it's Disney, because then Disney, if it's on Disney, then it'll be Disney Plus and Discovery Channel. Oh. So I commented back this morning. I said, is Discovery Channel linked with Disney? I didn't know, because I mean, Animal Planet, that's on Discovery Channel. Yeah. That would be so amazing.
I mean, it just makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. This is so cool. I'm so excited for you. I'm on your wait list. I've been on your wait list. Like, I'm so excited. And then after that, I'll be on, because I have 2 babies here and 1 who's passed over. So I can't wait to, work with you to connect with each one of them, which will be really neat.
Definitely looking forward to it. It's so, like, the specifics of what they share is just so heartfelt, especially when they're deceased, right? Because, you and I, we're kind of both in the same, like, we're intuitive, and we know that our past loved ones, animals and humans, are still there. Like, we intuitively, we get that on some level, but of course we still grieve the physical absence of them. So by hearing these very specific things that I would have no idea of knowing, it really just soothes the heart, and it's just really special.
Truly. Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it. So when you have now for the last year or so been doing your readings, do you find a common theme that comes up with the different animals that you communicate with?
Do you mean like, do all horses say one thing and all dogs say another?
Or like, they're always like, oh, I want my owner to know how much I loved them. Or, oh, it's like, I know you talk about the collar and the bell.
Yeah.
So, those kinds of themes.
I think the number one most predominant theme is they are so observant to our physical world, but also our inner world. Because in every session, I go through like their whole life, and I don't know, I can't speak for other animal communicators, but just from my research of sessions I've paid for and websites of what they say is a lot of animal communicators are like, here's my fee. I ask 5 questions. And for me, like that just doesn't work for me, because I give you an option to ask 5 questions, but I ask like 100,000 of my own. I go through their house, their bedding, their food, their exercise, like everything. And when I talk to the animals, like they always have comments on everything, and it's hysterical. Like some of them are sarcastic, and they always have advice for us of how we can better our life. And that's a question I always ask, like, hey, how can mom or dad or whomever, what can they do to improve or enhance their life? And they always have something. And majority of the time, Jennifer, it's something the human already knows they should be doing. And to hear it from their pet, it's like, oh my gosh, like I already knew that, but we obviously, you know, sometimes we don't do things that we know we should do. So that's definitely a common theme. Another is that they don't like the phones in bed, like at nighttime. I call it doom scrolling.
I keep mine
in bed.
Yeah, I keep mine in another room. It never, no electronics in the bedroom.
Yeah, and it's like just being present. Oh, another thing, this is the third common theme, is when you're taking your dog for a walk, don't be on your phone. Like they want you to be present with them. And a lot of people say, well, what about music? And I'm like, even the music, cut it out. Because if you have music playing, if you have earpods on, you're not hearing what they're hearing. You're not really in the same space as them. So they like the walk to be a mutual walk, not just, oh, I have to exercise my dog.
Mm-hmm. That makes so much sense. And it's so funny you say that, because I live on this beautiful lake and we have a path, and I always notice that. Especially one neighbor, he's always out there walking his dog and his face is smushed in his phone. And I'm thinking, that poor dog, like it needs some love.
Animals are masters at the present moment. And they're just, I always say animals are our greatest teachers, and they are truly just trying to teach us to be the best version of ourselves. And you could do all these things in the world to improve your life, but really what it boils down to is living in the present moment. And the phones, and I'm guilty of it too, the phone is such a distraction from present. Like hands down, none. Like, I mean, bar none.
Oh, absolutely. Like I notice at night, well, both of them let me know when it's time to be done with work. Yep. And then, of course, you're like, oh, I'll just check, like, just to make sure there's nothing major that came through the email. And my one Lola will just glare. Yeah. Like, she's just glaring at me like, enough. And I'll be like, okay, like, no more.
Right. And it's funny because my one dog, Donald, he will be like, there's times where I have to post my TikTok videos at night. They do better at night. So he's, there's no way around that. So I'll wait usually till he goes to bed, because he puts himself to bed super early. So when he wants to go under the blankets and go to sleep, then I'll grab my phone. But if I do it too soon to him doing that, he will come out from under the blankets, look at me and snort, like, get off your phone. And he can't even see what I'm doing, but they're intuitive, they're psychic, they know. Mm-hmm.
They totally know. Oh my goodness, I love this. So what advice for those who would like to become an animal communicator? What advice do you have for them? Where should they start?
Reading the books. So on my website, under the resources tab, I have a whole list of books that were my favorite. They're not my books. I didn't write them. One day I will, but they're the books that I started with. Just read them. Because the first hurdle is, well, if you don't fully think this is possible, but like you want to believe it, the books will help you with that. But these books just help kind of open your mind to the possibilities. So start with reading the books. And then just practice. So I offer monthly workshops. Take my workshop, of course, but you don't have to. It's just practicing. Ask family and friends, hey, can I do a practice session with your animal? Give me feedback. The feedback is the most important, because if you don't get feedback in the beginning, you're just going to think you're talking to yourself. You're not going to convince yourself you're doing it unless you hear confirmation from people. So the feedback is a definite must.
That's cool. Now, if someone can't read all the books, is there one book that you're like, okay, this is like a must?
I'm looking at them. Hold on.
Okay.
I would say, okay, so I have 2 and I'll explain why. You can pick one. This one, Kinship with All Life by J. Allen Boone. This is not teaching you how to communicate. This is like $11. It's not teaching you how to communicate with animals, but it's a phenomenal, phenomenal book. It's super simple, short, easy to read, about this guy and how he literally talked to a fly in his house. Stick with me here. This fly, people think flies die in 24 hours. Not true. This fly was in his house for 28 days. He named him, I think, Freddie. And he would call him over. Hey, Freddie, can you come land on my left hand? And he would do it. Friends would come over. I don't believe you. So he would do this at all hours of the day. So this book will show you, like, whoa, there is way more behind the scenes than we know.
Mm-hmm.
The book to help you actually talk to animals is a book by Penelope Smith. It's called When Animals Speak. It's kind of thick.
It's cute.
Start with this. She has 3 books in this series: When Animals Speak, When Animals Talk, and Animals in Spirit. But I would start with those, or one or the other, depending on what you're desiring, whether you're trying to convince yourself this is real or you're trying to really get into animal communication.
That's great. Thank you for that. That's going to be super helpful. So over your short period of time, right? Because time just seems to go so quick these days. What has been your biggest aha moment as being an animal communicator?
That pets understand everything. And there's a difference between, people say, well, how can our pets understand us? I tell my dog to stop barking and he doesn't listen. And my response is, well, when you tell your kids to do something, do they always listen? No. Doesn't mean they didn't hear you. By just talking to your pets, like I am speaking to you right now, it will change their life. A quick example to show you. A year or so ago, I went away, went to the beach for the weekend. And I was real busy, last minute packing. I kissed my dogs goodbye and left. But I didn't explain where I was going, why I was going, when I'd be back. I came back on Sunday and my one dog wouldn't look at me. He literally gave me the butt for like a day. And I was like, what the heck? Because in my mind, I'm like, Donald, you know where I'm going. You're reading my mind. But I didn't communicate. I didn't physically tell him where I was going. Fast forward 2 months later, I went to Arizona for a week with my mom. A week prior to leaving, I told him every day, I'm leaving on this day at this time. I'm going to Arizona with my mom. We're going for vacation, what we're going to be doing. I'm going to be coming home Sunday. I land in Philly at 4:30. I'll be home by 5:30. My husband told me at 5:10, Donald went from the back room to the living room and sat at the window looking out the door because he knew I was going to be home within 20 minutes. Just talk to your pets. Give them the exact time. Tell them where you're going. It's that simple.
I love that. Oh, it gives me goosebumps. And it should be so reassuring to know that, especially because, like I have the cameras through the house so I can keep an eye on them. Of course, I think it just annoys them sometimes, but it's nice to know that you can still even just be away. And if you don't have cameras, you can just talk to them through your mind, but really let them know ahead of time. Yeah. That's so huge.
Mm-hmm. And while you're away, mentally check in, just visualize your heart connecting with theirs. Say hi. If your trip gets delayed, I'm going to be home Tuesday now. Just do that because they're going to receive the message.
Mm-hmm. That's so huge. Oh my goodness. I love that. This has been so incredible, Nikki. We are getting to this time in the show where I ask this one question. Are you ready?
I think so. Let's go.
What is one thing that no one knows about Nikki?
Oh man, it was the eating disorder, but now people know that. One thing, and tell me if this doesn't count. I still doubt myself. I still get nervous when I do my sessions. I don't think I'm this master and I'm like, oh, everything is right. Because with psychic work, I'm not transcribing a radio broadcast. So I still have days where I'm like, am I doing this right? Am I making this up? And everyone, we're all equals. It's just, you got to just do it, believe in yourself, and things will happen.
That's beautiful. That 100% counts. Because
okay,
that's
cool.
real. That's real and it's true. And we all have that in every day, no matter what you are, whether you're a pet psychic or whether you're an attorney. We all have those insecurity moments and we're all human and we have to embrace it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh. And anyone out there who is like, I can do it. I'm the master. I'm never wrong. I can guarantee your pet's going to tell me the answer. Like, run away. Because no one can guarantee that. No way.
Right. I agree. So, Nikki, will you share with our community where can they get in contact with you?
Definitely. So I am on TikTok and Instagram. My username is @Nikki Vasconez. There are so many scam accounts. I'll never direct message you. Don't fall for it. It's just Nikki Vasconez. And then my website is nikkivasconez.com. Send me a message, an email. That's how you can reach me.
Awesome. Thank you, Nikki. Well, all of Nikki's contact information and links will be over in the show notes over at jenniferpilates.com. As we close out the show today, do you have one last piece of inspiration that you would like to share with our listeners today?
Sure. I would inspire all of you every day, no matter how busy you are, no matter what emotional state you're in. If you only have 3 minutes, take 3 minutes, sit on the ground with your pets and just be with them. No phone, just sit there. Even if you only have 3 minutes, that's better than nothing. Our animals live in the present moment, and you're going to make their day just by doing that.
That's so beautiful. Oh, whoop. I see some mouse time coming to a couple of kitties after this. Oh, well, again, Nikki, thank you so much for being on the show, for sharing your incredible journey. And I want to say again, congratulations. I cannot wait to ride this beautiful ride with you. This is so exciting.
Thank you so much for having me. It was so fun chatting.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, as we say, until next time, may you live an empowered life from within. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode. Please remember to rate, review, and subscribe to Empowered Within with Jennifer Pilates. Your feedback is important. It helps me to connect with you and gives me insight into who you are and what you're enjoying about the show. For today's show notes and discount codes from today's sponsors, head over to jenniferpilates.com. Until next time, may you live an empowered life from within.